God says, "A new door to success opens before you today, and it's time to walk through with confidence, vision, and unwavering faith." Perhaps you've felt a stirring in your spirit, a gentle nudge that refuses to let you rest until you answer its call. You might have faced setback after setback, wondering if you were on the verge of giving up. But hear this clearly: your season of waiting is transitioning into a season of forward movement. You are not disqualified, you are not excluded. The dreams planted inside you are about to burst forth into reality. There is a powerful shift happening right now, and you can feel it. Change is no longer a distant hope. It is standing right at your door. The moment you hear these words, something within you awakens, because God's message for you today carries an anointing to stir your soul and ignite the possibilities that have been waiting to manifest. Give yourself a moment, take a breath, and receive this truth. A new door to success has been unlocked in your life. The plans, the strategies, the clarity you prayed for will start flowing into your mind and heart as if heavens have opened up. Do not be frightened by the size of the vision forming in your spirit. Do not shrink back because you feel unprepared or underqualified. God delights in doing the impossible through those who dare to believe in His limitless power. The door is here, open wide, and you are being invited to step across the threshold, leaving behind the chains of your past and stepping into a new realm where miracles become daily occurrences. Yes, there will always be critics, and some may try to convince you that you're chasing fantasies or holding on to false hope. But understand this: not everyone can see what you see, nor can they grasp the promise that was placed inside you. Your faith is the key that unlocks this door of success. Faith that declares, even before you see the evidence, "I trust God to lead me." Faith that understands timing, waiting, and perseverance are part of the journey. Faith that doesn't rely on validation from others, but stands firm on the word you've received in the stillness of your heart. You've come too far to let doubt sabotage your destiny now. Imagine how an eagle takes flight. It doesn't remain with other birds clucking around in the dust, for it was fashioned for the heights. It senses the breeze, spreads its wings, and ascends to places where few can reach. Just as the eagle rises, you have been called to ascend into uncharted territories. Don't let the weight of your past or the noise of others clip your wings. The time for you to rise is now. What you once saw as unreachable is being brought within reach, because God is guiding you to the door that He prepared long before any obstacle tried to block your path. Let that sink in. You are stepping into something orchestrated by divine hands. You may be asking, how can I be certain? Or, what if I step forward and nothing happens? The truth is that certainty in the spiritual realm doesn't come from visible guarantees. It comes from the unshakable confidence that if God speaks a promise, it must come to pass. Reflect on stories you've heard of ordinary people stepping into extraordinary callings. Time and time again, what set them apart was not an absence of fear, but their determination to obey the prompting in their spirit. They recognized the open door as a once-in-a-lifetime moment and seized it with boldness. And so must you. This message is your confirmation. You could have been anywhere else, but here you are, listening to a message that resonates with your deepest longings. Take that as a sign that you are on the brink of a breakthrough. Breakthrough doesn't merely signify achieving a goal, it means shattering the limitations that once held you back. Perhaps you've been limited by finances, by discouragement, by a lack of opportunity, or even by your own insecurities. Today, those limitations are losing their hold on you, for the one who opens doors that no one can shut is at work in your life. Embrace the reality that God's resources know no bounds. Where you see a deficit, He sees an opportunity to demonstrate provision. Where you see a mountain of opposition, He sees a stepping stone toward greater impact. Where you see your fears, he sees the qualities that, once refined, will make you unstoppable. When you look back on your journey, you might see patterns of hardship and disappointment. Perhaps you grew so used to waiting that you started believing your day of harvest would never come. But God's timing defies human logic. He is neither early nor late, but always on time. Your story matters, and none of your experiences have been wasted. Each obstacle that you overcame prepared you for this very hour, shaping you into someone who can handle new levels of success with wisdom and humility. This door isn't just about material gain. It's a gateway to a richer, deeper life in every sense. Your relationships, your purpose, your influence, your inner joy. Listen to that quiet voice inside that says you were made for more. That voice might have been drowned out by negativity or betrayal in the past, but today it grows louder with each heartbeat. Let it speak of possibility, remind you of your potential, and beckon you to advance. There is a path carved out for you, and you never walk it alone. If you felt isolated or misunderstood, remember that God has been with you through every single moment, gently preparing your heart for what is about to unfold. It was never about proving yourself to anyone else. It was about allowing the divine plan to unfold in its appointed season. You might feel a surge of both excitement and nervousness right now. That's natural. Transitions often spark mixed emotions, especially when we stand at the edge of a new chapter. But don't let fear rob you of the blessings on the other side of this door. Everything you've prayed for, everything you've envisioned in those quiet moments of hope, is ready to greet you. God is whispering to your heart. Don't look back. The former things have passed away. Step forward into the newness I have prepared. How liberating is that realization? He's already gone ahead, aligning circumstances, touching hearts, and making sure that if you choose to walk forward in faith, you will find the path illuminated. Of course, there's action required from you too. The door can stand open forever, but if you remain frozen in indecision, you'll never experience the reality of what's waiting beyond. So move. Take even the smallest step. Perhaps it's a phone call, a written plan, a conversation, an act of courage you've been postponing. Even if your voice trembles or your knees shake, do it. You don't have to see the entire staircase to take the first step. Remember that miracles often unfold when faith meets action. Doors open and success is birthed, not from passivity, but from a daring resolve to trust that what's been promised will be fulfilled. If you believe God's word is speaking directly to you, if your heart is pounding with the sense that this is for you, then don't keep it to yourself. There's power in declaration. Speak it out. I'm walking through the new door of success today. I'm ready. My time has come. And as a symbolic act of faith right here, right now, I invite you to comment the number 777. By typing that number, you're publicly affirming your readiness to step out of the waiting room and into the realm of manifested blessings. You might wonder what difference it makes. There is power in unity and in taking visible steps of faith. Let the universe witness your decision. Let this be a stake in the ground that you will look back upon, saying, "That was the moment everything shifted." The reason we call it a new door is because it's unlike anything you've encountered before. It could be a sudden opportunity that seems to appear out of nowhere, a promotion, a new connection, a creative spark, or even a fresh direction for your life that you never imagined. It may feel uncomfortable at first, because stepping into success sometimes requires leaving familiar territory. But the discomfort is a sign of growth. Embrace it. Growth seldom happens when we remain in the zones of ease and routine. If it feels bigger than you can handle, perfect. That means you'll rely on God's strength even more, and He will show Himself faithful. Look at the journey of those who've gone before, individuals who dared to step beyond the confines of what seemed possible. They were not exempt from doubts, they were not always fearless, but they were resolute in faith. Their names become examples for generations to see that when the divine intersects human willingness, unimaginable. In the place where you worried you didn't measure up, you will discover a power far greater than your limitations, enabling you to do what you couldn't do alone. God's promise is that He will never call you to a level or a door without also equipping you to thrive within it. Maybe you've had a taste of success in the past, but it seemed to slip away or was cut short. Maybe you felt you squandered opportunities or let them pass by. Please understand, regret has no authority to hold you back from stepping into what's next. God doesn't define you by your past misses or mistakes. He is not a God of second chances only. He is the God of multiple, unending chances, always ready to restore and reposition you. Let go of the heaviness of regret, so your hands are free to receive what's being offered now. Let hope whisper into the cracks of your heart that felt too broken to believe again. You might be tempted to think this open door is for someone else, someone more qualified or more spiritually sound. But the Spirit of the living God says it's for you, in your present state, flaws and all. The transformation you've been waiting for doesn't require you to be perfect, only willing. When you open your heart to that reality, shame loses its grip. Every label you once wore that implied you were not good enough begins to fade, replaced by the truth that God sees tremendous value in you. The same voice that spoke the universe into existence calls you by name, guiding you toward your best future. That is powerful beyond what words can convey. Be aware, too, that distractions often arrive right at the door of breakthrough. Old fears, old hurts, old cycles might try to resurface, pulling you off course. Recognize them for what they are, attempts to keep you from entering a new dimension of success. You do not need to re-engage or give them any power. Stand firm in the knowledge that you are on the cusp of something extraordinary. When the wind of negative memories howls, remind yourself that you're not dwelling in the past anymore. When doubts flood your mind, return to that inner altar of faith where God's promises are etched. That is your anchor, your unmovable place of serenity in a world of swirling change. Sometimes the door to success leads us to challenges we never anticipated. This isn't to destroy us, but to refine us. Diamonds form under pressure, and gold is purified in fire. Success, in the truest sense, often involves an inner shaping that matches the outer blessing. You may feel stretched, tested, even uncomfortable at times, but this process is weaving resilience and character into the tapestry of your life. Instead of resisting, lean into it. Ask for guidance, remain humble, and watch how each test expands your capacity to handle larger blessings. After all, you don't just want momentary success. You want a success that can be sustained and that enriches every aspect of your being. Think about David facing Goliath. The rest of the army was paralyzed, seeing only a formidable giant. But David saw a chance for victory, confident that his God was bigger than any threat. In the same way, obstacles that stand in front of your door to success might appear enormous, yet they are the perfect stage for God to display His power. If everything in your path were easy, you'd never see supernatural intervention. But when the challenge is beyond your natural capability, that's when you witness the divine step in, turning the impossible into reality. So, if you sense this new door is guarded by difficulties that seem too large, rejoice, for you are on the brink of seeing a mighty move that will testify to the greatness of the one who leads you. Let gratitude flow from you as you step closer to the open door. Gratitude that you're alive in a season ripe for change. Gratitude that you can sense God's direction. Gratitude even for the obstacles that shaped you. Gratitude is a magnet for divine favor. It aligns your heart with the highest frequencies of faith. When you cultivate a thankful spirit, you open yourself to receive more. It's not that gratitude manipulates blessings. Rather, it positions you to notice and appreciate the ongoing work of grace in your life. As you enter, let thank you be your constant refrain. Thank you for the lessons. Thank you for the open door. Thank you for the bright horizon. What does success look like for you? Maybe it's a thriving business or career. Maybe it's a family restored, health renewed, creativity unbound, or a deeper mission that impacts countless lives. Whatever the specifics, the principle remains. You have been led to a threshold where all that you've prayed for and believed for converges into reality. There is no coincidence that you're receiving this message now. Timing is essential. Doors remain open for a season. That season is now for you. Trust that you have permission to succeed, permission granted by the highest authority. You don't need the world to approve. God Himself has declared, you can walk in. You can occupy this place. In moments when you feel overwhelmed, pause and center yourself. Let a calm assurance settle in your spirit, because you were never meant to carry the weight of the journey alone. Every step you take is supported by divine orchestration. There are times you may not see the path clearly, but the one who guides you sees it all. Let go of the notion that you must have every detail figured out. Many times, revelation comes progressively as you walk in obedience. The parted waters of destiny often require you to place your foot in the river first, trusting that it will clear. That is the essence of faith, leaning on what is unseen but deeply known in your heart. Search your life for signs, no matter how subtle, that affirm you're on the right track. Unexpected confirmations, chance encounters that feel orchestrated, new desires unfolding in your heart. These are not trivial coincidences. They are your spiritual compass, pointing you toward the door. Learn to celebrate each sign, no matter how small. Each one is evidence that you're moving forward, and if you stumble, remember that stumbling is still moving forward as long as you get back up. There's no shame in feeling momentary doubt or fatigue. It's part of the hero's journey to greatness. Be patient with yourself, keep your eyes on the door, and keep advancing. Think of those who have inspired you, individuals who overcame enormous odds. They didn't have some magical formula. They simply believed. They believed that, with God, all things are possible. They believed that no barrier was too high, no wilderness too desolate, no storm too fierce. Draw encouragement from their stories, and someday your story will inspire others in the same way, as a testament that walking through God's open door leads to wonders beyond imagination. You might not feel inspiring right now, but trust that your journey is weaving together a powerful testimony that will speak hope to many. Sometimes the greatest opposition comes right before the greatest breakthrough. If you find yourself in a battle, spiritual, emotional, or even relational, take heart. That could very well mean the door is close. Oppression often intensifies when you're on the brink of crossing over into new territory. Stand firm, remain steadfast, and remind yourself of every promise that has resonated in your heart. The same power that raised Lazarus from the dead, that parted the Red Sea, that turned water into wine, is alive and active. This power is not an abstract idea. It is a reality that has guided humanity through countless struggles. You are no exception. Are you ready to say yes? Are you ready to let faith overshadow your fears? Are you prepared to let go of the comfort zone that stunts growth so you can embrace the wide open space of possibility? Take a moment now, right where you are, and whisper a personal affirmation. I am ready to walk through the door God has opened for me. I trust His leading, and I anticipate success beyond my former limitation. Breathe these words with conviction. Let them resonate within your being. A single yes can transform your entire destiny, shifting the course of your life from stagnation to acceleration. At times you may question your worthiness or wonder if you're truly cut out for this. It's natural, but let me assure you, your worthiness isn't in question. The invitation to walk through that door isn't based on your perfection. It's grounded in a love so profound, it surpasses every flaw, every shortcoming. God sees what you cannot see in yourself: the beauty, the strength, the potential, the capacity to bring hope into a world yearning for it. Grasp this truth and let it shatter every lie that has ever told you otherwise. You are allowed to flourish, to prosper, to stand tall in the place of your calling. When you step through, remember to remain humble and open-hearted. Success is not merely about reaching the destination. It's about who you become along the way. Let compassion guide you. Let wisdom deepen within you. Let generosity flow from you. Because when God elevates you, it's not just for your personal gain. It's also so you can be a blessing in your sphere of influence. That is the mark of true success. Not just being lifted, but extending a hand to lift others as well. Keep that at the forefront of your heart, and you will sustain success with integrity and grace. As you move closer, listen for divine instructions. Sometimes the Spirit places a project on your heart, a cause you must champion, or a spark of creativity meant to impact lives. Obedience in those small details can unlock greater doors than you ever imagined. Do not be fooled by the world's definition of success alone. True success aligns with purpose. Purpose breathes life into your achievements and makes them lasting. Material accolades are fleeting, but fulfilling a calling resonates through eternity. The door you're about to walk through has the potential to bless you beyond measure, yes, but also to leave a legacy that endures long after your moment in the spotlight. In those still moments when doubt tries to creep in, hold on to the promise that if God called you to it, He will walk with you through it. You never carry this alone. That assurance can be your compass when the path gets murky or the nights feel long. You might not always see an immediate change, but every step of faith builds momentum in the spiritual realm. Trust that the seeds you plant now will grow, even if for a season they remain unseen beneath the surface. Stay faithful, stay consistent, and watch how swiftly the tides can turn in your favor when the time is ripe. Discipline your mind to dwell on what is true, noble, and uplifting. The battle often starts in your thoughts. If negativity or cynicism tries to pull you away from hope, remember that you have the power to renew your mind and refocus on the promise. Speak life over yourself. Speak life over your circumstances. Words carry creative force. Align your words with the success God has declared for you, rather than the fear that threatens to paralyze you. This is not self-deception. It is cultivating a mindset of faith that sees beyond the temporary into what is promised. Your story is about to take a turn you never expected, but one you've always secretly longed for. Doors will open, and you'll realize they were specifically tailored for the gifts and desires that lie within you. You'll look back and realize every step, every tear, every delay was preparing you to cherish and steward these blessings responsibly. You'll see that the heartbreaks you endured sharpened your compassion, the disappointments refined your perspective, and the solitude deepened your resilience. Nothing was wasted. Everything is converging into this moment of stepping across the threshold. If this resonates, if you feel the stirring inside, don't allow the moment to pass without sealing it. Declare again your commitment. I will walk through the new door to success. I accept the blessings and challenges that come with it, knowing I am never alone. And yes, take that symbolic action. Type 777 in the comments. Let your intention be made known, both to yourself and to the divine realm that has orchestrated this appointment. There is power in physically representing what is happening spiritually. As you do, imagine yourself taking hold of that door handle and walking forward into the fullness prepared for you. In time, you will realize that trusting God was the best decision you ever made. You'll see relationships flourish, creative visions come to life, resources arrive just when you need them, and doors open that you never could have forced open on your own. The synergy of divine guidance and human obedience can produce outcomes beyond human calculation. That's what sets people of faith apart. They see possibilities where others see dead ends. They press forward when others retreat. They tap into a supernatural source that multiplies their efforts in ways they can't fully explain. That power is available to you now. Rekindle that passion you once had. Let it burn brightly again. You don't have to settle for a life of mild satisfaction when a life of abundant fulfillment is calling your name. The time has come to break up with mediocrity and step into the extraordinary plan set before you. Yes, it takes courage. Yes, it might cost you some comfort, but what you gain is far greater than anything you leave behind. You trade complacency for purpose, small dreams for large vision, and hidden potential for lived reality. When you weigh it out, the choice becomes clear. Think back to times you took smaller leaps of faith. Didn't something beautiful often come from those moments? Maybe a new friend, a crucial connection, a personal breakthrough, or a revelation that changed the course of your life. Those experiences were warm-up exercises for the leap you're about to take now. And if in the past you took leaps that seemed to lead nowhere, do not be discouraged. Sometimes seeds lie dormant before breaking through the soil. Nothing is truly lost when you place it in the hands of a faithful God. Trust that whatever didn't bloom before was preparing the ground for a later harvest. Keep your heart open, your spirit teachable, and your hopes alive. Realize also that walking through this door doesn't mean instant perfection. You may face learning curves, unexpected detours, or tests of endurance. Stay flexible. When a plan shifts, don't assume you're off track. God's plan often involves rerouting us to avoid pitfalls we can't see. Learn to surrender control, not your responsibility. Surrender the obsession with having it all figured out, but be diligent in taking each step that is revealed to you. The balancing act of trusting while doing is where spiritual maturity blossoms. Confidence doesn't mean you never feel nervous. It means you believe that even in your nervousness, victory is still assured because your foundation is secure. You might have to gather your courage daily, reminding yourself why you began this journey. The open door is not a quick fix. It is an invitation to keep walking in faith. Each day that you commit to that walk, you will grow. Each challenge faced will become a pillar of wisdom you can stand on later. You will see yourself evolving into someone who not only receives blessings, but radiates them to all around you. And when you finally cross that threshold, take a moment to breathe in the magnitude of what has happened. Let gratitude well up and overflow, touching everyone in your vicinity. You've stepped into a place that was designed for you from the beginning. You'll see how the pieces of your past, present, and future fit together in ways you never previously understood. You'll understand that the wait was preparing you, that the delay was refining you, that every step was ordained for such a time as this. A wave of deep, unshakable peace will settle over you because your spirit will testify that you are exactly where you're meant to be. Yet, even with the door wide open, you must choose day by day to remain aligned with the vision. Complacency can creep in quietly if you let down your guard. Keep your relationship with God at the center, always. Let praise and prayer be your daily breath, fueling you to tackle new opportunities. Success is not a single event, it is an evolving journey. There will be more doors, more expansions, more revelations as you continue forward. Each open door leads to a corridor filled with further doors, each requiring new levels of faith, character, and commitment. Embrace this as an ongoing adventure, not a finish line. If anyone has doubted you or spoken negatively about your capacity to succeed, let forgiveness free you from the heaviness of their words. You do not answer to them. You answer to a higher authority who has already given you permission to thrive. Seek not revenge, but transformation. Let the success you walk in become a testimony of grace rather than a point of pride. In doing so, you maintain the posture of humility that keeps you receptive to even more blessing. When pride tries to whisper that you achieved all this alone, quickly remember the one who gave you breath, vision, and guidance from the start. Now, as you stand here absorbing these words, sense the excitement in the air. You can almost taste the breakthrough. New door, new success, new life. Doesn't that fill your heart with an electric expectancy? This is what living in tune with destiny feels like, an undercurrent of hope that pulsates through even the mundane tasks of life. You find meaning in small steps, see divine purpose in random events, and witness the orchestration of your path with increasing clarity. Doors that used to be sealed shut now open effortlessly, simply because you dared to believe. You might wonder if you've waited too long, but let that worry dissolve. The one who authors your timeline is never late. Even if you feel behind by worldly standards, divine alignment happens at the appointed hour. And if you're hearing this message now, it means the appointed hour is drawing near. So release any lingering regrets, lay them down, and pick up hope. Let each breath be a renewal, reminding yourself that each day you awaken is another gift, another opportunity to move closer to all that's been promised. You are not defined by your darkest moments. You are defined by the light that calls you onward, the light that refuses to let you settle. Perhaps you fell 100 times before. Rise for the 101st. The door is still open, the offer still stands, the path is still waiting to welcome you. Your resilience is a testament to the unbreakable spirit within. God never wrote you off, and you shouldn't either. Shake off the dust, stand tall, and let faith lead you through. Take hold of this truth. Your voice matters, your presence matters, your uniqueness is needed. As you achieve success, it won't just be for you alone, it will serve a higher purpose. Maybe you'll employ people who need a second chance, or fund a project that uplifts your community, or share wisdom that liberates others from fear. True success is never selfish. It ripples outward, changing the atmosphere around you. So realize that your calling is bigger than you. That's why it matters that you don't give up. That's why it's imperative you walk through the door. Lives are connected to your obedience, to your bravery, to your willingness to embrace the fullness of what God has for you. If at this point your heart is resonating with a resounding yes, then hold on to that. Let it be your anchor in the days ahead. If you feel a knot of uncertainty, that's okay too. Growth often feels like stepping into unknown territory. But I urge you not to shrink back. Press through the initial discomfort. Keep your eyes on the promise. The real tragedy would be to let fear talk you out of a breakthrough that is already stamped with your name. Don't let that happen. Choose courage over complacency, faith over fear, and action over endless speculation. You have heard these words, and they have stirred you for a reason. This isn't empty motivation, it's an invitation into a reality that's been waiting for your agreement. When you step forward, step boldly. Don't apologize for pursuing the success God has placed in your heart. Carry yourself with humility and gratitude, yes, but also with a quiet confidence that you are following divine direction. The world might not always understand. Critics may multiply. Circumstances might test you, but none of that nullifies what heaven has declared over your life. Yes, comment 777 if you agree, if you're declaring to yourself and to all who witness that you are ready for the new door of success. Let these words echo beyond just this moment, fueling your determination for every future decision you face. Use them as a reference point. Whenever doubt creeps in, recall this declaration. Remind yourself, I made that commitment. I stepped through that door in my spirit. I will not turn back now. Each time you reaffirm that vow, you strengthen the bridge between the promise and its fulfillment. Be watchful for signs of confirmation. Sometimes it's a phrase someone speaks to you unexpectedly, or a timely opportunity that crosses your path. Other times it's an inner knowing that quiets all the chaos. Let gratitude well up for each sign, each puzzle piece that falls into place. Keep a record of these confirmations. Write them in a journal or store them in your memory so that when storms come, you have a solid record of how far you've come and how faithful God has been. That record becomes a weapon against discouragement, a testament to the unstoppable momentum carrying you forward. Let us take a moment to remember that success is not a final destination. Even when you pass through this door, you will continue evolving, learning, and being prepared for further expansions. The open door you face right now is the gateway to higher ground, but there will be more doors after this, each leading you deeper into the life you were fashioned to live. Embrace the journey, remain teachable, and carry a heart of unwavering faith wherever you go. In doing so, you fulfill the truth that you are the light of the world, shining so brightly that others find their paths illuminated by your example. Even as you sense the magnitude of this message, know that you do not need to understand every detail. Let the comfort of knowing you are guided put your mind at ease. Rest in the awareness that the one who opened this door for you is also the one who will walk with you every step after you cross through. If you've been carrying shame, lay it down. If you've been wrestling with unworthiness, release it. The moment you choose to believe that you are meant for greater things, you activate the power that breaks every chain of limitation. Your future is beckoning, vibrant, and full of promise. Can you see it? Can you feel it? And so, here you stand on the threshold of a reality you once only dreamed of. Perhaps tears well up because you recognize how faithful God has been in your life, even when circumstances suggested otherwise. Perhaps you feel a swell of excitement because the voice inside you cries out, "Finally, my time has come." This mixture of gratitude and anticipation is the sweet spot of spiritual alignment. Stay in it. Nurture it. Let it guide your words, your decisions, your demeanor. Success is not just about outward achievement. It's about the resonance of inner peace and purpose that carries you through every stage of life. In the near future, you might look back on this exact moment as the pivotal turning point where your old ways ended and a bold new chapter began. You'll remember how you took a brave step, typed 777, or spoke a simple yes from the depths of your heart. You'll see how, in that moment, the gears of destiny shifted, aligning events, people, and resources in your favor. It may not all unfold overnight, but day by day, you'll witness the unfolding miracle of a life awakened to its full potential. Embrace that vision. Let it become the blueprint for your faith, fueling you to keep going no matter what. If the path grows difficult, recall the psalm that says, "The Lord is my shepherd, I lack nothing." Let it remind you that lack is not your portion, struggle is not your end, and limitation is not your identity. You are stepping into sufficiency, provided for and carried by grace. Each morning, renew your mind to this truth. Each night, rest in the assurance that you made progress, even if it was just one small step. Over time, those small steps become a journey of 1,000 miles, culminating in triumph that leaves you and those around you in awe. May your heart be filled with expectancy and boldness now. God says a new door of success opens today. Walk through it without hesitation. May you find in this moment the permission you've long sought to live unbound by fear. May your spirit rejoice at the revelations, your mind embrace the guidance, and your body respond with purposeful action. Above all, remember, you are loved more deeply than you can comprehend, cherished more fully than you've dared to believe, and appointed for a time such as this. Sometimes the greatest movement happens right beneath the surface of your own heart, quietly reorienting your desires and revealing new angles of possibility. You might wake up one morning filled with ideas so alive they practically dance in your mind, as though overnight the seed of your destiny has sprouted further. What changed? Perhaps nothing externally, but your inner willingness shifted just a hair's breadth closer to belief. God doesn't always send lightning bolts to announce his next move. Instead, he often whispers into your spirit, guiding you gently toward the door he swung wide open. When you sense that subtle shift, a fresh resolve in your gut, that is often all the sign you need to keep going, to take yet another step and another. Each act of obedience, no matter how small it may appear, serves as a rung on a ladder that leads you upward. The door to success beckons not from a place of frantic striving, but from quiet confidence. It might be as simple as reaching out to someone you've lost touch with, or rereading an old journal entry that reminds you why your dream first ignited. It might be as mundane as reorganizing your workspace to create a sanctuary for new ideas. Each step is drenched in meaning if your heart is pointed toward the bigger vision. When you see it this way, even the most ordinary tasks feel charged with purpose, as though each motion is synchronized with heaven's heartbeat. Keep listening within. Discern the difference between fleeting excitement and genuine, lasting inner guidance. Excitement might spark and fade, but true inner guidance lingers, steadily prompting you to move forward regardless of how you feel on any given day. That's the kind of resolve that outlives moods and circumstances. Faith, anchored in that gentle guidance, can withstand any storm. It stays alive in you because it isn't merely your idea. It carries a divine signal, and when God signs off on something, you can rest assured that he also provides grace and strength to see it through. If you ever find yourself doubting your capacity to walk in the greatness set before you, remember that nearly every story of remarkable success started with a person who was once overwhelmed by their calling. Moses doubted he could speak well enough, Gideon believed he was too small, and Esther was an orphan who could have faded into obscurity. Yet each overcame a formidable barrier by choosing faith over fear. You're standing in that lineage of everyday individuals who decide to trust in a supernatural promise. Their examples shout to you across time, take courage, you're not alone in feeling unprepared, and you're not alone in being chosen anyway. Even nature illustrates that growth is often hidden until the right moment. A bamboo plant might spend years growing strong roots underground before it ever breaks the soil. Then, almost miraculously, it can shoot up several feet in mere weeks. Your life may have felt like a long underground season where nothing seemed to change on the surface. Yet during that time, your roots were going deeper, building resilience, cultivating integrity, and refining who you are at the core. Now, as the door to success stands open, you might find yourself propelled upward with a speed that surprises everyone around you, including yourself. Don't be startled by this acceleration. It's the natural outcome of all that unseen rooting. Keep your perspective anchored in gratitude. Success can be both a blessing and a burden if approached with the wrong mindset. When the influx of opportunities starts to roll in, pause often to say, "Thank you, Lord, for entrusting me with this." Gratitude keeps your heart soft, your spirit receptive, and your mind humble. It prevents the creeping lie that says you achieved all of it by yourself, or that you somehow deserve more credit than the one who set you on this path. This posture ensures that you don't merely pass through the door, but thrive in the new room you enter. Remember, every shift you make in your internal world, every fear replaced with faith, every grudge replaced with forgiveness, every insecurity replaced with identity, contributes to how well you function in your destiny. Picture it like a vessel being cleaned and expanded to hold the blessings that await. The more you free yourself from emotional clutter, the more space you create for new ideas, relationships, and the resources that will come your way. This isn't about perfection. It's about remaining pliable in the hands of the one who knows exactly how to shape you. Sometimes you'll sense a divine nudge to do something bold or unusual. Maybe it's contacting a long-lost mentor, or stepping onto a platform you never thought was for you, or posting a courageous message on social media. Don't brush these nudges aside. They could be the very keys that unlock the next layer of success. Divine instructions often arrive looking like risks that push you beyond your comfort zone. But in that stretch, you often discover capabilities and insights you never knew you possessed. Think of Peter stepping out of the boat onto the stormy sea. It was terrifying, yes, but he accomplished what logic deemed impossible, simply because he obeyed the call. Be prepared for moments when you question whether the dream is really for you, or if you've misunderstood your calling. Those moments of doubt can creep in on days of fatigue or frustration. In such times, it helps to have a personal why, a clear sense of purpose that transcends fleeting emotions. Your why might be the vision of helping your family, or championing a cause close to your heart, or fulfilling a promise you made to God in a season of desperation. Cling to that when your emotions waver. The mind may falter when it sees obstacles, but a heart grounded in purpose will keep beating toward the goal. And let's not forget the power of community. Yes, you have a unique path, but that doesn't mean you must walk every step in isolation. God places people in your life who can celebrate your victories, encourage you in struggles, and share wisdom from their own journeys. Whether they come in the form of mentors, friends, or even an online support system, honor those connections. Their perspective can be a life raft when you're in stormy waters, or a cheering squad when you cross milestones. Don't let pride or fear of vulnerability keep you from forming those bonds. Embracing this open door might also mean releasing past versions of yourself, labels you've carried, survival modes you adopted, or limiting beliefs that once served as your safety net. Sometimes the comfort of the past competes with the promise of the future, but you can't cling to both simultaneously. If a snake never sheds its skin, it cannot keep growing. Likewise, if you never shed outdated identities, you remain stuck in an old paradigm. Dare to reintroduce yourself to the world, and even to yourself. I am ready, I am renewed, and I am stepping into a success-infused season. You might wonder how to keep balance. Success can bring overwhelming demands on your time, energy, and mental focus. That's where boundaries become essential. Give yourself permission to say no to distractions that sap your energy without feeding your purpose. Being everything to everyone often results in being effective to no one. Learn to protect the core of what God has called you to do. This isn't selfishness, it's wisdom. A cup poured out continuously without being refilled will eventually run dry. So schedule in rest, keep your prayer life active, and preserve pockets of reflection, even in the busiest times. One beautiful truth is that as you take steps toward your destiny, God also takes steps toward you. Scripture promises, draw near to God, and He will draw near to you. This mutual movement establishes a flow of guidance, provision, and reassurance. You never walk alone. Look for signs of His presence, the doors that open right on time, the logically you should be stressed, the sense of peace that settles on you when logically you should be stressed. These are more than luck. They're God's fingerprints on your path, confirming that you're headed the right way. If you've stumbled across negativity, people who scoff at your dream, or circumstances that seem to mock your faith, use it as fuel. Let each instance of resistance reaffirm that you're doing something significant enough to attract opposition. Darkness doesn't bother with a light that's not shining. When you face criticism, remember that diamonds are always tested for authenticity. Those tests only refine your resolve, never define your worth. Keep shining, keep pressing, and watch how even your critics take notice when you begin to flourish. Whatever your specific vision is, business, ministry, artistry, healing, innovation, keep it lifted before God. Don't be afraid to present even the smallest of ideas to Him. He cares about every detail. Offer your plans in prayer. Lord, take these ideas and do what you will with them. Show me how to refine them so they serve both my growth and the greater good. That attitude of surrender keeps your dream from becoming an idol and ensures it remains a partnership with the divine. Too often, we try to barricade ourselves into lonely independence, but synergy with heaven is where the extraordinary emerges. You'll notice that once you truly commit to passing through this door, certain habits or environments might naturally fade from your life because they no longer align with where you're going. Don't be afraid of that pruning. When old leaves fall, it's usually to make room for new growth. A plant never apologizes for shedding what no longer serves it. In the same way, you can allow outdated mindsets, relationships, or activities to gently fall away without harsh judgment. Trust that in letting them go, you are opening space for richer, more purposeful interactions and pursuits. It's important also to practice patience with yourself. Sometimes the door to success may open wide, but you still have inner processes to complete. Healing from past wounds, adjusting your mental framework to a new reality, building up skill sets you'll need once you're fully on the other side. Rushing yourself to perform at peak capacity immediately can lead to burnout. Instead, view each stage as necessary. Growth is rarely linear. It's more like a spiral, looping upward, occasionally circling back to revisit old lessons at a deeper level. Embrace the process. In this journey, cultivate a habit of declaring blessings over your future. Wake up and speak out loud. I am anointed for this. The resources I need are finding their way to me. My mind is sharp. My spirit is strong, and I move in harmony with divine timing. It may feel strange at first, but speaking life out loud helps shape your internal atmosphere. Negative self-talk has no place in your daily routine if you intend to harness the fullness of what God is doing. Let your tongue become an instrument of creation, echoing the promises laid out for you. You may also find yourself caring more deeply about certain causes or groups of people. That's no accident. When your heart is in alignment with God's heart, compassion becomes a natural outflow. Pay attention to those stirrings. They could guide you to discover the very niche or mission that propels you to unprecedented success. After all, success rooted in compassion tends to be far-reaching and sustainable. It transcends personal gain and becomes a conduit for greater healing and upliftment in the world. That is often where lasting impact is forged. Sometimes the biggest revelations come during the quiet hours, early mornings or late nights, when the world is still and you can hear your soul more clearly. Don't brush off these sacred windows of reflection. Keep a notepad by your bed or use your phone's voice recorder to capture ideas that arrive unannounced. Inspiration often prefers to visit when distractions are minimal. Treasure those moments like hidden gems because they can hold the blueprint for your next major step. Acting on even one of those flashes of insight might shift the entire trajectory of your journey. Let's talk about emotional resilience. The path to new success doesn't mean you won't have low days or moments of heartbreak. But the difference is that these challenges no longer dictate your identity or your destiny. You learn to process them without letting them destroy your spirit. You bounce back faster, you keep your faith intact, and you maintain an underlying sense of hope. That resilience is a hallmark of someone who knows they're chosen for a purpose. It's not that you never feel sorrow. It's that sorrow no longer unravels your identity. And in those times where you feel your energy ebb, remember the divine invitation. Come to me, all who are weary, and I will give you rest. Rest isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for anyone shouldering big dreams. A soul at rest is far more capable of handling the demands of success than one perpetually on the brink of exhaustion. Let rest be part of your strategy. Let it be the fertile ground where clarity can blossom, solutions can present themselves, and your spirit can be fortified. You'll be amazed at how stepping away from the grind momentarily can actually accelerate your progress in the long run. Take stock of how far you've come, even if it's not yet where you want to be. Celebrate small milestones, because each one is a testament to your perseverance and faith. Maybe you reached out to a potential partner or mentor. Maybe you completed a draft of that book or set up an online platform for your business. Whatever it is, honor that progress. Sometimes we look so far ahead that we neglect to see the footprints of progress behind us. Each footprint testifies that you're already walking in the direction of your calling. Keep your eyes open for divine redirection as well. Sometimes you might find yourself pushing hard on a particular door, only to realize it isn't the one meant for you. That doesn't mean the promise is void. It means you're being guided to a better fit. When God redirects, it's never to diminish you, but to set you closer to your optimal place. Learn to pivot without bitterness. Learn to trust that if a door remains locked, another is opening. This attitude frees you to move fluidly with the current of favor, rather than struggling upstream. Stay mindful that your words carry authority in the spiritual realm. Complaining or cursing your circumstances can lock you into negativity. On the other hand, choosing to speak hopeful words can shift atmospheres, even your own mindset. This isn't about ignoring reality or faking positivity. It's about acknowledging the truth that your ultimate reality is shaped by divine promise, not just by the obstacles you see. Speak in alignment with that promise, especially in moments when it feels furthest away. You'll be surprised how this simple discipline can spark breakthroughs in both your environment and your perspective. As you continue walking, a deep sense of identity emerges. You start seeing yourself not just as someone chasing success, but as someone living out a divine narrative. Even your setbacks take on meaning because they serve as plot twists that make your story richer, more compelling, and ultimately more triumphant. You begin to wear your identity as a chosen one, confidently, not out of arrogance, but out of recognition that you didn't choose yourself. God chose you. It keeps you humble and yet boldly expectant. In this place, you realize success isn't a single event, but a tapestry woven from moments of faith, discipline, creativity, and grace. You find delight in discovering new layers of your capabilities, and you notice synchronicities that confirm you're on track. Old fears lose their dominion, replaced by a calm certainty that even if the road is long, you're walking it hand in hand with a higher power. That knowledge alone can turn valleys into learning grounds and mountains into vantage points. Be aware that as you grow, you may outgrow certain environments, mindsets, or relationships. This isn't a rejection of people, but an evolution of your purpose. Not everyone is meant to journey with you at every stage. Sometimes you have to wish them well and proceed forward, knowing that your expansion might not resonate with their comfort zone. That's okay. Release them with love. Trust that if they're meant to be part of your ultimate story, they'll find a line. If not, your path remains unstoppable. Meanwhile, align your daily habits with your calling. If you know you're meant to speak to large audiences, practice your speech even when no one's around. If you feel called to entrepreneurship, study the market and sharpen your skills. If your heart is set on creative arts, carve out time to create consistently. Don't wait until you're on some perceived big stage. The small stage of daily discipline is where mastery is birthed. By the time the world sees you, you'll have already put in hours of faithful preparation. Stay open to the idea that success might arrive in a different form than you initially pictured. God's creativity often surpasses our expectations. You might have fixated on one path, but find another path entirely that provides greater fulfillment and impact. The new door might lead to a dream that's bigger and more nuanced than your original plan. Remain flexible, embrace surprises with curiosity rather than resistance. That posture makes room for pleasant revelations and expansions you never considered. Also, resist the temptation to compare your journey to that of others. Comparison can either inflate your ego or deflate your spirit, neither of which helps you move in authenticity. Your door was designed with your name on it. The timing, the method, and the scope of your breakthrough can't be matched to someone else's. Celebrate others who succeed differently, knowing that God's abundance isn't limited. Their win does not threaten yours. There's a different lane and pace for each of us. Within you is the capacity to shift entire atmospheres, to bring hope into desperate situations, and to inspire a generation hungry for purpose. With that calling comes a weight of responsibility that can feel daunting, but know that the weight is shared. You are never tasked with anything that heaven doesn't fully intend to support you in. In your quiet times, ask for wisdom, ask for direction, ask for strength to sustain what you're building. The response might come as a scripture that leaps off the page, a gut feeling that clarifies your decision, or a timely word from someone who speaks into your life. Cherish these divine responses. They're the anchors that hold you steady. When you look in the mirror, start to see not just your reflection, but the reflection of potential that's still unfolding. Affirm yourself, I am chosen, I am ready, I am stepping into greatness. Yes, it can feel awkward, but your soul craves these affirmations. In a world that constantly broadcasts reasons to feel insecure, your own voice can be the powerful antidote. Over time, these words become embedded in your mindset, and you begin operating from a place of unshakable confidence. Your decisions are bolder, your risks more calculated, and your heart more open to love and collaboration. Never forget the humanity of it all. You're allowed to be flawed, to stumble, and to question. Greatness doesn't mean never making mistakes. It means not letting mistakes define the rest of your journey. Each time you slip, see it as another rung on your ladder, an experience that sharpens your acumen and heightens your empathy. If you feel the need to apologize or correct course, do so quickly, then move forward. Let shame find no permanent residence in your story. Remember also to be watchful of how you treat others on your way up. Compassion and kindness are hallmarks of someone who understands success in the context of divine love. The door may be open for you, but that doesn't mean you ignore or belittle others who are still searching for theirs. Offer a guiding word, a helping hand, or a spark of encouragement when you can. Such acts of generosity often multiply back into your life. It's the law of sowing and reaping in action. You plant seeds